My story is an old one, but it ended with the 22nd of October 2023 in the war. When my family were sleeping in their home at 4 a.m. when Israel bombed my home and killed my family. In my home there was my father, my 2 brothers, my 3 sisters, and 14 of my nieces and nephews, actually 15 of my nieces and nephews. All of them were killed except for one nephew. His name is Omar, and he's 3 years old. He was injured, and he was retrieved from under the rubble. And Omar is only 3 years old. I always think of Omar. Omar lost his father. Omar lost his grandparents. Omar lost 4 of his uncles, 3 of his aunts, and 14 of his cousins. And he was injured himself. So when this happened to my family, I decided not to stay silent. I decided to challenge the Western media and how they talk about the Palestinian people. Because I know the theme of today is about the fall of the empires. And I believe that the biggest empire that have been subjecting the Palestinian people to humiliation and subjugation and oppression is the empire of the Israeli propaganda and media. So I decided to talk about my family and to post about them. And I wrote about them. And I posted about them day and night until people get to know my story, get to know my family. And there, where the Western media came, they started calling me every now and then to have me interviewed by one of their anchors. And unfortunately, their interviews were more humiliating and descending than I ever could imagine. I'll give you an example. In one of the interviews, I told one of the anchors, the hosts, that I lost 21 family members, including 14 kids, my nieces and nephews. And he told me they're just collateral damage. It's okay. Another person, another anchor, told me that Hamas killed my family. Well, I know who killed my family. Another one asked me if my brothers and sisters were close to me. Another one told me that I shouldn't get into a war of words and hate while I was criticizing the Western media coverage. One of them told me that the international law doesn't matter. They don't care about the international law because the international law says the occupation is wrong. One of them told me that the UN is a spin force. And in the comments, many questions the reality that I lost 21 family members. And one of them asked me if I condemn Hamas only a few days after I lost my family. And one of them insisted that I should call Hamas a terror organization. And this is why I believe that the Western media is responsible for the killing of my family. Because no matter what Israel does, because no matter what Israel does over the past 75 years, no matter what Israel does, it is always their actions are justified by the Western media. That the Palestinians are terrorists, that the Palestinians are anti-Semite, that the Palestinians don't deserve democracy or life, that the Palestinians should never have their own sovereignty over their own lands. It is always the Palestinians die and the Israelis are killed and massacred. It is always the Palestinian people are collateral damage. It is always the Palestinian innocent, the children don't matter because they're not white. And that's why I will not forgive the Western media. I will never forgive the Western media. And I believe us, the Palestinians, we have been defying the Western media for a long time, and now we are using social media to defy the narrative of the Western media, and we are making a huge success. But I also believe that it's not only the Palestinians who have the responsibility to share their stories and to talk about their suffering and to send their message to the world. I believe it is you, the people who live in the UK and America and the free world. You have even a bigger responsibility towards the Palestinian people to share their stories. And allow me to be harsh with you a little bit. We will not forgive you if you do not tell our stories and convey our message. We will never.